have trouble with this because it is difficult. But out of the three, I think for me this one's easiest because all you gotta do is hit it over the net and make sure you have it, you're hitting it in the tennis court. So what I like to do is I like to hit it with an upward motion, very similar to target practice. The reason I hit it with an upward motion here is you've seen it before, so I don't hit the net. Because if you hit it with an upward motion, you are almost guaranteed to never hit the net. The only thing you got to worry about is if you hit it late or early, if the ball goes out of the tennis court. Now this was my final attempt of the night. I've already spent, at the time, 8 minutes on it. And I was not feeling good here. As you can see, I almost let 2 balls go out. I almost swung the wrong way for that last one. But my tip here is just watch the ball. Watch the ball just to know when to hit it. Watch which direction your racket is so you know if you're doing a forehand or backhand, because especially once you start sending them really fast, you need to know which way you're swinging. And it sounds simple, but it is really difficult. And 3, that's about it, I think. Watch the ball and watch the direction. Oh, and hit it upwards so you don't hit the net. My backhand naturally has an upward curve to it, so I really didn't worry about my backhand. But when I was doing my forehand, I'm really likely to hit that net. So always do an upward hand, unless you're at the front of the net. If you're at the front of the net, just swing forehand or backhand, because you do not have time to adjust an upward swing. And if you do an upward swing intentionally, you're probably going to hit the ball out of bounds. But see right here, backhand, 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 forehand. Like, it switches so fast, and you got to know which ball you're hitting, which it sounds stupid because like your me naturally goes to it, but it is difficult once you start sending them. Like right now in this scenario, I'm watching which ball is coming next. I'm not watching the ball that's coming at me now. I'm looking at my racket, making sure which way it is, but I'm looking at the balls coming at me now, because if you don't look ahead, you're gonna lose track of them. It happened to me, for 10 minutes straight when I did this video. So I'm looking at the balls coming at me now, and I'm seeing if my racket's flipping. And basically with my peripheral vision, I'm looking if my racket is flipping, and then I'm looking at the balls coming at me. It's really tough. It's a lot of concentration. It is possible, but I knew I beat the platinum at this point, but I was just, this was just for, bragging rights. I don't think I get to 100. Yeah, get at 96. But I was really happy. As you can see, I'm swinging my little racket right there. I'm popping off. I got a platinum medal. Move on to the final attempt, which of course will be the platinum medal. You know how these videos go. So yeah, again, if you're having trouble with this, just play it a couple times. It always, like at, I think it's hit 29, it'll always have gone to 2 to 3 shrinks and will be moving from left to right. Like, it always moves at the same time and shrinks at the same time. You can it's not like a randomly generated moving thing like the targets in the hit the target tennis mode. This one is always at 15 points. It'll be moving left. Or at 23 points, it'll shrink one time and move to the right. Something like that. You can always know when it's moving. Okay, sorry, at 20 points. So it shrinked a little bit and moving to the right. It always moves at the same time, always shrinks at the same time. So if you play this just over and over, you'll kind of get the gist and know when it's going to be where. And if you get up to 40-ish points, the first 35 don't matter. Heck, the first 40 don't really matter. My struggle always started at about 29, and then anything past then, I just had to learn what happened. And even then, sometimes my Wiimote wouldn't want to cooperate. It doesn't matter if you hit the edge. Heck, you could actually hit the little post, and as long as it still goes in, it doesn't matter. If you hit the post, it most likely won't go in, but you can hit the post and it'll still go in, and it'll count. So another thing that I struggled with, when it's in the middle but it's going to the right or left, you need to hit it not super far to the right, not super far to the left. You need to angle it a little bit that way. So see, left middle was that hit. I hit it a little early. Now I'm hitting it super early so it goes to the left corner. But when it goes middle, see, it shrinks again right there. Left middle, a little late, but not too late. Right middle, and then almost all the way to the right. Hit it super late. So yeah, it gets super skinny, as you can tell. I missed that one, but it doesn't matter. Platinum medal, 10 out of 15, 52 points, only needed 50. And get this attempt where the platinum medal became my vendetta. Just sit back and watch this. It gets insane. See what I mean? All luck based. Now at this point I knew I had the platinum medal. 40 targets is the platinum medal. But I had a mission. I wanted to see how far I could go. I have been trying at this mode in my entire Wii Sports career, ever since I've had Wii Sports and YouTube, which, I mean, I'm not going to say it's been too long, probably a whole day, 24 hours maybe, not even. I've been playing this, I don't know. But I've been tired of it. I'm just like, you know what? Now that I have the platinum medal, let me show what I'm made of right now. And as you can see, I'm getting so lucky with my targets right now. That was insane, the target luck I had. 2 on the left. This target covers up a hole in the wall. Back to the left. See, it is all luck based, 100% luck based. I'm getting so lucky on this attempt. I'm already done with the platinum medal, and I'm still getting lucky. Now, there were a couple times where I should have probably gone through the wall, but again, the physics engine is not that reliable. I am still going at 51. I am just so done with this mode right now. I'm in my head thinking I could probably go 55, and then of course I get the second bounce, but 51 is not a bad attempt. That's the platinum medal. So again, time your swings. The main thing is swing up when you're traveling from the left to the right side of the wall. Make sure you're hitting different parts of the wall, and just keep being persistent, and one attempt, you'll get lucky, I promise. It's frustrating, but when you get it, it is totally worth it. Yet again, my heart is broken on my very, very first attempt back. And this attempt, I kid you not, is over 30 minutes later. I have gotten 27s, 28s, 26s, 29s the entire night, and this attempt is the platinum medal attempt. 30 minutes go by, and I finally do it. As you can tell, see the slow fastballs up the middle. No curves, no splitters, no knuckleballs, nothing. Just slow up the middle balls. That's all you gotta do. All you gotta worry about for the first 10. The first 10 are pretty easy. Just don't hit it too fast, because I've been prone to do that. And then with my recommendation for the second round is, yes, they're faster, but wait to see if there is a curve. Like right there, I waited, I still was able to hit it. Here I waited, I saw the curve, so I was able to hit it. Like, you'll be able to tell if there's a curve pretty easy, like pretty soon after, and you just want to make sure you hit it forward and not in the out of bounds areas, make it a foul ball. But just wait to see the curve. Once 20 hits, you got to prepare yourself for fastballs like that. Just be ready to swing and just go crazy. They can do these fastballs. So you do 3 of them in a row, 4 of them in a row. That one wasn't super fast. That was a normal speed one. I almost screwed it up. That was a pretty fast one. There's a semi-fast curveball. There's a screwball. Pretty normal ball. And then usually they throw a splitter as well. She actually didn't. Splitters are pretty easy to hit just because you can tell it's a splitter and it's slow. But yeah, from 20 onward, 20 to 30, that is super duper hard to hit. Expect the fastballs, expect the curves, expect the splitters. Just don't preemptively swing and miss one of the balls because you expected a fastball. Just be ready for it. From getting the platinum medal, and here is the attempt where I actually get it. Somehow I got lucky, just watch in awe. I thought I screwed it up on that 8th pitch, but apparently it was enough. For some reason, I just couldn't understand how this game mode worked, and if I had to do it again, honestly, it'd probably take me an hour or even more. So I hope you guys have good luck with this. I honestly just got lucky. I could not repeat what I just did. '63. And here is the attempt that broke the platinum medal. Theo helping me out. Let's watch it.
earned a platinum medal.
And as you can see, the platinum medal is there. 56.98 is my personal best. I want to see if you guys can beat that just for funsies. I mean, if you can get the platinum medal at all, congratulations. So yeah, you just kind of have to get lucky, aim for the sides, don't go for the middle, and I only had 1 to 2 home runs that were less than 550. That's kind of what you need to get in order to get the platinum medal. Alrighty, so after that heartbreaking attempt, we're gonna go at it again. I'm gonna give you guys some hints and tricks and stuff. So for me, naturally, I have a left curve, so I always line up myself a little to the right, even though I won't be lined up. So like right here, I should go left, but because I have my left natural curve, I go right, and I end up hitting it.
Nice throw.
So if you are right-handed, you most likely have a left natural curve, more likely than not. So if you're like me and you have that left natural curve, throw it a little bit to the right. Now you can throw it head on and straight, but I liked my spin and power.
Nice throw.
I just accommodated for my left spin. So if you have that left natural curve like me, just line yourself up exactly where I'm going. Some of these holes I had a really tough time with, but like hole 6 or lane 6, for some reason it was like 1 a.m. or something. I could not get this lane on the first try to save my life.
Nice throw.
It is one of the easiest ones, and I just couldn't get it. Like, I don't know why, but I could not get lane 6
Nice throw.
on the first attempt. Lane 8 has a natural right curve, so if you line yourself up on that dot and that arrow, it'll naturally curve into that first pin, but have enough spin to hit that second pin at a perfect angle to hit the rest of them down. Lane 9 I also had trouble with. I just didn't have a whole lot of spin there, so I really don't know what happened there. I think I lined myself up at the wrong area too. Again, this was late at night, so you gotta cut me some slack. Got freaking lucky there. That lane 9 was so weird, as well as lane 6. Hashtag nice. Anyway, I'm feeling pretty confident. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Line yourself up, and then whenever you have a right natural curve, line it up. Accommodate for that. Lane 11 is one of those as well.
Nice throw.
Certain lanes had a natural curve that was not natural to the left hand. It's lane 8, lane 11, lane 14, and lane 19, I think. Which, of course, the next to last lane has that unnatural curve to it. If you watch Poofessor, he's like, this lane, it always curves right. I found that more lanes curve right than he claims. He only claims lane 8 to do so, which is right, in my opinion. This is another one that curves left. What you're supposed to do is hit the 2 pin into the 9 pin and knock over the 4 pin. Mine naturally curved right, so I hit the 2 pin into the 4 pin, and the bowling ball bounced into the 9 pin. It's pretty crazy. I probably went around. I went about this medal the most obscure way possible. Now these last 3 lanes messed me up. This one is also kind of difficult, but I got it. I got pretty consistent at it. Lane 8, lane 17, the 9 and the 10 pin just part the C's. Again, accommodate for that natural curve if you have it. Lane 18 is a pain. Like I said, hit the 2 pin into the 10 pin, and when you bounce off the 2 pin, you hit the 7 pin. It's kind of crazy. So line yourself up kind of right here. It should work. If you figure out where to line yourself up based on your throws, it's gonna work. So like I said with this lane, you're supposed to hit the 5 pin with the natural left curve that you have into the 10 pin. Well, this is one lane that I had a natural right curve on for no reason, and I could not figure this out to save my life. I got stumped at lane 19. I played this for probably an hour last night, and I got to lane 19 probably, I don't even know how many times. Too many times. So I line myself up right here in between 2 of the dots and kind of on the arrow, but not exactly head on. with a little bit of right curve, barely, I still miss it. And I'm thinking, okay, come on. So I line myself up a little past the left arrow, and I'm like, please, if I just need to barely hit it, and I do.
Nice throw.
I got so lucky. I do not know how I hit that. I could not replicate it if you needed me to. And hole 20, I was just begging to not have some crazy
Nice
curve
throw.
for my bowling ball to glitch
Challenge
out.
cleared.
And I don't. Challenge is cleared. That is another platinum medal. We have 14 out of 15
You earned
platinum medals. There is
platinum medal.
one more to go. Keep in mind the platinum medal is 700 points. But like I said, this attempt is the platinum medal. So, yeah. Awful attempt. Awful first. I was like, you know what? We're just going to keep going. The first one really doesn't matter. It's nice to have 20 points instead of 8. But we're just going to keep going. Missed that pin. I was like, okay, it's not looking great. I'm going to keep going, you know. Basically, I'm thinking to myself, if I don't get a strike within the next 2 or 3, I'm going to quit. And I'm thinking, all right, it's looking really probable that I'm going to quit. I need to get a strike in these next 2, between one of them, or I'm going to quit. And the game saved itself with the wonky physics. I got a strike. I was like, okay, I said, you know, I'm at least going to keep going if I get the strike. I got the strike. Very little curve. And one pin again. It was just comical. I should have had this platinum medal in less than 30 minutes. And it took me over 2.5 hours to get this. And that's just one attempt. I'm not accounting for all the attempts I did. Just like within the 2 days I played it, it took me over 2 hours because I kept comically getting one pin left. So I got another strike there. I'm at 223. I'm thinking, all right, I need a lot of strikes here. That was not a good attempt. I'm thinking, all right, I'm screwed. It's over. I need to get a strike here or I'm probably resetting, honestly. 275 with 3 left, that is not looking good. But I get a really good bowl and I get a strike there on 66 pins, and now it's doubled. I'm at 407. I'm thinking, okay, a strike here would be massive. Like, I'd probably get the platinum if I get a strike here. And would you look at that, the wonky physics favor me again. 78 times 2. I'm at 563, and I do the math. I said, okay, I need a strike here. I'm not good with the button method. I need a strike. I know it's unlikely. And your boy gets the strike. 91 points times 2. A good old-fashioned strike, no button cheese method. And that puts me over 700 points. 745 to be exact. That is another platinum medal. I'm just stupid. Anyway, so for these first, I think it's like 7, you can move around and move your character and then twist your body by hitting A, and then you'll be angled right at them. So the first few are pretty easy. I always tilt my character a little to the right because I naturally have a right spin to my ball. Now, my tip is that there are 2 different ways to spin the ball. And I will show you right here. I'll make an example out of it right here. So you can let it go all the way up and then release, like your character does a wind up of the bowling ball. Hold on, I'll do it again. All the way up, release. Alright? We got that. I'm probably going to do it 1 or 2 more times. So I did all the way up and release. There's another way to spin the ball, however. You don't have to go all the way up and release. You can release it while it's downward, and it spins more. That was an example of that. So if you want it to go a little more straight with a tiny spin, you release it up, you go all the way up and release. If you don't want that much spin. If you want a good amount of spin, however, you release it at the bottom. Down. Okay, I released it bad. Watch this though. And release. on the way, like on the swing downward, if I am straight downward, the ball spins more. It doesn't get as much height, which is what you need for that hole, but it doesn't spin as, you can either get height and not a lot of spin, or a lot of spin and no height. This used to get me so hard. This lane used to get me so hard, but all you do is line yourself up on the right, release it at the bottom, it spins right into it. So easy. I would say going to the left is easier, because while spinning to the right is a little harder, there's not as many barriers to worry about. So that's my recommendation for that one. This one is tough. I say angle yourself and then get a little bit of spin. That's my thing. You don't want a whole lot of spin, but you know, I put a lot of spin on it. Kind of got lucky with the barrier bounce, because if I didn't get that, I was gonna miss it totally. On this one, go to the edge, spin it, release it at the bottom. You're golden. The golden rule here: if you release the bowling ball at the bottom of the release, you're gonna get this platinum medal. It's that simple. I promise you, it looks so complicated, and once you understand where you need to go, it's so easy, because you just release the ball at the bottom every single time and you're gonna get it. Now granted, I hit the barrier right there, but yeah. Anyway, I redeem myself here. Boom.
Nice throw.
Now, I have a confession to make. Since lane mainly 16, I did it on 15 as well. I think I did it on a few lanes, but especially 16 and 17, you realize I'm pausing. Now, I could say, I'm just gathering my thoughts. I really want to get this right. I'll admit, I am watching a YouTube video. At that very moment, while I am doing this, I'm watching a YouTube video. You can call me cheap. You can say it's cheating. But, in my defense, you have to execute what you see. I'm just saying, it's not as easy as looking at the video going, oh, that's what you do. I mean, granted, this one is probably one of the easier ones to do with that, but I was lining myself up with the YouTube video, but I had to execute it. That's hard. These platinum medals are not easy, even if you know exactly what to do. Alright? Like, hitting the green, target practice, putting, even picking up spares. It's really hard to tell what to do. I think this is one of the easier ones that you can watch a YouTube guide and kind of figure out what you're doing. I had like 0 spin on that. That was just atrocious. Let's try that again. Release at the bottom. Bingo. Hole 19.
Nice throw.
Why did I say hole? Lane 19 is serious. Wide barrier on the right, tiny barrier on the left, and I think you have to hit the 7 pin. Like, what? So the whole point is you line yourself up with the tiny barrier, angle yourself towards the larger barrier, and then have the craziest hard cut of your life. You kind of line yourself up in the middle, actually. I thought you angled yourself a little more left, but if you go in the middle, it works. And for the final stage, you just have to get a strike. There's no barriers, there's no nothing, but I had to spice it up a little bit. It's called spin control, so you better believe I'm going all the way to the right, and I'm going to crank this to the next dimension to get the strike, clearing
Nice throw.
the challenge,
Cleared.
getting the platinum medal with 2 bowling balls left. Now, I've given you all the tips you need.
You
Release
earned a
lower, not
platinum
higher.
medal.
Angle yourself and position yourself where I am. You're gonna get this platinum medal. But you best believe I'm getting those 5 platinum medals, and I am going to hit a hole-in-one in this game. Alex, that's not impressive. I have never hit a hole-in-one in Wii Sports ever in my life. When I had it as a kid, as an adult now, as a teenage, I never hit a hole-in-one. So I'm getting those 5 and hitting a hole-in-one. And then this series will officially be over because I've pretty much done everything else. I think the only other thing I haven't done is gone pro in golf, but nothing really happens. You don't get a sparkly club. You don't get anything. You just get a little thing that says pro. Anyway, we're on to the actual attempt, and as you can tell, I got 100 both times. That one was a little scary, not gonna lie. But I'm calculating the wind. I mean, honestly, my advice is just continue to play this, get practice in. You really want to apply about the same amount of power, maybe a little more or less, depending on if the wind is against or with you. But your main thing is calculating the wind left and right. If it's below 10, you just have to go to the edge of the 50. If it's over 10 in the teens, go in the middle of the 25. And if it's like 20 or 30, you just got to crank that and just hope you can get any points. Because when it's 20 and 30, it's ridiculous. Like, see, 6 miles per hour wind. I'm right at about the edge of 50. I don't know really how to describe it. You can tell in the video if you pause and zoom in a little bit, or just pause, take a picture, you know, whatever. It's kind of hard to describe, but as you can see, I'm not cranking it as far to the left because it is coming from the back and like blowing to the right. However, it is more against me, so I'm trying to add a little more power, add a touch to the left because it is coming from that side, but I need a little more power than I've been applying before. And as you can tell, that is my first 50. I went 4 for 4. I have 450. If I do exactly what I did this time, in the top row, I have 900. The platinum is 800. So I'm trying to hit this ball with a little less power than usual, but not too much, because 18 is going to carry it pretty far. So I hit it with a tad less power. Again, 100. Just learn what swing you need to do, and then repeat it every time, and barely adjust yourself. Like, I cranked that thing to the moon because it was 16, and I only got 50, which honestly is really good. When it's directly against you, that is tough. So I'm at 600, and I remember specifically Brianna said, "How's it going?" This was probably 20-something minutes in, and I said, "I'm about to get the platinum," and I'm freaking out, dude. My heart is racing right now. Even just watching this, my heart is picking up steam, and I know how it ends. Another 100. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, all I need to do is hit 250s, and I get it. I don't even need to hit a 100 anymore. I need to hit 250s. I can be kind of off and still get the platinum. 26 is kind of insane, though. So I'm trying to hit it with as much power because it will blow against, and I'm trying to crank it to the right because, again, it is coming from that side. So I add way too much power. I choke it away right there, and I hit 10. So now I have to hit a 100. I'm devastated. I am just demoralized, but I know it's still possible. So I crank it all the way to the bottom right of the 10 ring, and I hit it like I've always been hitting it. A little less power because I have the wind with me. And your boy, barely by a pixel, hits the 100, getting 810. That is enough for the platinum medal. And now we have 11 out of 15. I am freaking out. I'm jumping up and down. I'm dancing. I'm having a great time. The final tips I'm going to give you guys are the directions. So on this first one, like I said, you want to go 1.5 or barely over 1 dot, and you want to crank it a few ticks to the left. Just a few. Regardless of where the flag is, you probably want to do left where the, you know, because of the hill. I mean, I hit the freaking pin. This one you want to go right. You want to go a little bit further right than you think. I think I could have gone a little more right on this shot. Because I don't know if it's how the hill is sloped or the position of it or what, but I always want to angle it more left, and I think it always goes like behind the pin. So you want to angle it more to the right than you think, Because see, I still ended up behind it, so I could have gone even more
Nice
right.
approach.
This third one, you usually want to go right. Even if it's on that left side, you want to go to the right. And you want to barely go over that third dot, like I said. You want to make sure it goes over the third dot, because if it doesn't, it sticks in the rough and ruins your run. But if you go over the third
Chip
dot
in.
too much, the hill will take it. I got a nice little chip in, by the way. This flag is in a close position, so you want to go just barely over the red line. Kick it a little to the left. Another cup in. See,
Chip
just
in.
or chip in. Just listen to me. I promise you it's gonna work. You kick this one a few ticks to the right. Not too many, just a few. I'm telling you, regardless of where this flag is, you usually want to angle yourself kind of near the flag and then do what I'm saying. Like a few ticks to the right, a few ticks to the left. Even if it seems kind of odd,
Nice
it's
approach.
gonna work out. I mean, even there, I got 5.3. That's my worst shot so far, and that's really good. Okay, so this one is really, really close. So you want to go barely over the line, make it barely go red, and you don't want to mess with this at all. Do not tick it left, do not tick it right. Keep it straight head on, because you probably won't get a cup in or a chip in or whatever, but you're going to get really darn close like
Nice
that,
approach.
7.7. Now that's my new worst shot, but it works out. Hole 7, like I said, 3.5 dots. You want to kick it pretty far to the right. Not too terribly insane, but kind of far. If you go at least 3 dots, it should be fine. I think I undershoot this one. Yeah, I undershoot it. And it kind of works out because it is sloped downward. Not my best shot. You
Nice
kind of want to go
on.
3.25 or 3.5 dots, but it works. Hole 8, like I said, crank this puppy to the left. See how crazy far I go left? And this flag is kind of close, so you want to go 1.5. This is like one of those middle flags. But see, I cranked it
Nice
far left,
approach.
and I was still under 8 feet. You can go crazy with that one. Hole 9, this is one where you don't mess it left or right either. I noticed that it's a little far, so I'm going to go iron. If you want to go iron, you want to go 1 dot. Exactly 1 dot. Not over. Don't go over, but don't go too far under. I did one attempt and I went way under and it bit me in the butt. But see, right here, and then it bites. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty bad shot
Nice
at 18
on.
feet. But I've done so good. I got 2 chip-ins. I've done really well. 58.3. This is a close one. What you should do here is a wedge shot. I'm still going to do an iron shot because I'm more comfortable with it. On hole 10, you can either do an iron or a wedge shot. If you go wedge, you got to go crazy. If you do iron, you barely want to go over 1 dot. Maybe like 1.25 dot. That's kind of where you want to go. And you want to kick it a little bit to the right. See, it was a close one. I undershot it and it
Nice
bit so hard
approach.
in the rough that it actually kept it close. If I had any more power on it, I would have breezed past it.
You earned a
60.7 is
platinum
the
medal.
plat. The minimum is 65 feet. So I cut it really, really close. Now, let me go over tips and tricks. I always like to do that. The first hole is super simple. You're like 2 feet away. Okay, well 6.9 feet apparently. And you just barely hit it straight. For some reason, my putt does not want to work. It's just being dumb. There we go. You just hit it straight
Nice
barely,
hit.
about a dot and a half. The second one, regardless of what it looks like, you would want to tilt your thing right, you would think, by looking at it. But hole 1 and 2 are
Nice hit.
straight shots. Hole 3 and 4 is when they start going left and right. So I have it downhill, 3 square, or 11.6 feet away.
Nice
Sloped
hit.
right hill, so I kick it left. Another 3 block, or 10.2 feet away, on a downhill slope to the left, so I kick it right. This one is very deceiving. You actually want to kick it more right than you think, because you think you want to like just kick it a little bit, and I almost missed
Nice
it there,
hit.
and I kicked it way far right. Hole 5 and hole 6, that's when I started using my YouTube videos. This one in particular, you want to go in between the first intersection and the hole. If you don't know what I mean by the first intersection, they all have squares, and the first intersection is where the squares
Nice
meet.
hit.
So I hope that makes sense. I'll tell you when a first intersection does happen. Hole 6 is also weird. You want to go in between the first intersection and the hole again, and you want to have a little more power than you did in the previous one, I think. I think you want to have 2, right? You want to have just under 2, or right at 2, and that should be fine. Hole 7, this one is very tricky because usually hole 7 is a straight shot. It's just a very, very long straight shot. This one is curved up. It's a downhill curve into an uphill curve that's more intense. So what you want to do is kick it a little bit left. You don't want to go in between because you might kick it a little too far left. So you want to kick it about 1/4 to the left with about 2.5 dots. See, that puts it in the middle. The video I saw put it in between and they barely made it. Hole 8, this one's kind of tough because it's a right hill curve to your right, or it's an uphill curve to your right, and then all the way at the flag, it's on a hill, but it's not like super curved. It's kind of weird. You want to kick it barely to the left, almost at the intersection. It's not quite in between. I mean, I would say it's in between, actually. It's not like on the intersection. I don't know. Barely got that one. I was so relieved when that went in. I did not think it was going in. Hole 9, this one is very, very tricky. It's on a really, really tall hill, and you want to barely kick it right. You want to kick it to the right where the ball is just beside the hole, because the hill is not as intense as you think. It really isn't. It looks so massive, and you think you want to kick it like 3 or 4 squares over, but you don't. You just want to go barely to the right. Now I'm trying to line it up. I'm using the video right now. I'm like, okay, is this correct? This guy has it right here, and now I'm trying to get the power. Okay. So the game gives you a suggested. It says 2.5 dots, and I'm gonna try and do a little more, because if you use the game suggested thing with this, 2.5 dots is actually going to ruin the momentum. The more power you have, the less effect a curve has. So if a hill is curved crazy, if you give it more power, it won't affect it as much. If you add less power, a curve is going to affect it crazily. Now hole 10, the one that I just got gutted on. This one's a little different. It's a straight shot, but there's a hole. Now intersection, here's what I mean. Count 1, 2, 3 blocks, not including the block that my ball is on. All right, so 1, 2, 3. At the top of the 3rd square, I almost do the intersection. You see what I mean? It's kind of like on the corner of the square. That's what I mean by intersection. If you can get this platinum medal, it is a big relief again, because you can't screw up. You are given 5 lives, but the only time the 5 lives matter is if you can cup in the 10, and then you get gold. So you just got to go undefeated, know the power and the angles. I say everything up to hole 5 is super duper easy. 1 and 2 are straight shots, 3 and 4 are slight angle changes. 5 and 6 can be difficult, but they also can be easy. It depends on the hole that you get. And then 7 is usually easy. I got the weird hole 7 where it's on 2 different hills. Hole 7 is usually just a straight shot. Like you give it like 2.5 to 3 power and you can just shoot it straight. Hole 8, 9, and 10 are obviously the hardest. You almost need to go 2.5 to 3 to 3.5 dots on all of these. As you can see right now, I'm just trying to get the perfect power because I screwed this up last time, and there was another attempt that I didn't show you where the same thing happened. I got to hole 10, and the reason I didn't get the platinum was because I mispowered my shot. And by I mispowered my shot, I mean the Wiimote wasn't stable enough to give me the same shot. As you can see, I'm trying to go for 3.5 dots, but I want to hit it twice in a row. Because as you can see, I'm hitting 3.5, and then I'm hitting like 3. See? 3.5 and 3. 3.5, okay. I want to hit it again. 3.5, I hit 3 3/4, so I'm like, okay, 3.5. It's a little extra, but it was just the right amount of power. If I actually did 3.5, I'm not sure I would have made that hole in, and I still might only have 14 out of 15 platinum medals. But there you have it.
You earned
I'm dead
platinum
serious.
medal.
Use my video, use other videos, and see if you get just good whole RNG. You could have a whole 10, a whole 8, a whole 6 that none of your videos have. But the more videos and the more different videos you have of people getting this platinum, the more likely you are to have the exact same whole 7 as me or something. But this is the very next attempt, and spoiler alert, I actually do get the platinum medal. So let's watch what I do here. So with this first black bag, I like to get my rhythm of the 1, 2, 1, 2, and then I just kind of continue that motion throughout the rest of the match, as long as I don't miss any bags. And as you can see, this 1-2 motion punch combo thing really working out here. I did watch a YouTube video and like watch some guy. I didn't get to see how he punched, but I got to see the timing of his punch, and it was basically this 1, 2, 1, 2 movement. And I started thinking about the platinum medal where you hit Matt with this little pancake gloves, and I was thinking, I don't throw my hands in that minigame, I flick it down. So when I thought about it, I was like, well, let me flick down in this minigame. That saved my butt. So flick down, make sure you flick pretty hard with both the Wiimote and the nunchuck, because it might not register otherwise. But if you do it, you're gonna get these punches, and if you do, you know, if you time it out like I'm timing it, 1, 2, 1, 2, you know, then you're gonna get these combos. This is a very easy platinum medal once you know how to do it. And I actually end up getting 43, and you're gonna see my me kind of freak out. I'm jumping up and down, I'm running around the room. I'm not screaming because again it's midnight, but I was really hyped. Two more maximum, if my emotional state can handle it. Which I promise you is a no. Can you be Matt's emotional support bro so he could calm the frick down for once in his life? Did I get it? Let's go! On the dot! Oh my gosh. Like 20 minutes of attempts, you're welcome. I do beat my personal best of 65, and this is the run where I get platinum. Your reflexes have to be so fast. At this point, I wasn't leaning much. I was just, see right there? Sometimes you have to lean to avoid that. But at this point, I was not leaning a whole lot because I was just looking at which of Matt's hands went up. Look at which hand goes up and just react. It's much more of a reaction game than a accuracy game. This one is, at least. So just see which one goes up and flick the remote that way. That's what I did, at least. And I go about 40 points. Without hitting Matt once. I do hit him eventually, and he gets very mad. But, you know, I go pretty far without hitting him. I go 50 whole points without hitting him. Sometimes the game makes you hit the character when you didn't want to. That was user error, I'll admit that. That was the game. So sometimes you need to get the game on your side. I wasn't even looking at my score, and I barely get the platinum medal. There I go again, freaking out, jumping up and down.